Make this quick, simple, straight to the point. Yes, I'm fully aware that the sun is showing. Let me try to eliminate that. Anyways, I've been reading the comments on the NFL, like little articles that pop up on Facebook. And, there's people going back at it, back and forth about this game. I even had the opportunity to watch most of the game until about maybe the 2 minute mark of the third. And then when I was on the way to work, I decided to play it on the radio and just listen to what I could. Then I went back and watched the highlights and, had the opportunity to see everybody kind of weigh in and what's going on. Well, we lost 23-14. I kind of had a feeling we were going to lose. I was sitting talking to my buddies about this. I said, yeah, this doesn't look good. I just had this hunch we're not going to win. I just hoped the game was close. And for predominantly most of the first half, the game was boring. It was a bunch of 3-and-outs. Both teams were struggling offensively. Chiefs had, 6? I think we had 6 points or something like that. I forgot the score at halftime. That's how relevant it was. I think they were up 13-6 at half, and then we ended up scoring a touchdown, tying the game with Joe Mixon touchdown. And then from there, the wheels just kind of, let's just kind of say they fell off. And really, we didn't tie the game because we missed the extra point. So, excuse me, I meant to say 13-12. But anywho, I'm kind of going all over the place with this. There's no doubt in my mind that the Chiefs are getting phantom calls. I'm never the guy to blame the referees at all, you know. But in that game, you can clearly tell the referees were giving the Chiefs phantom calls. 2 roughing the passer calls that should have never happened, especially where 2 defenders collide with each other. Mahomes slides underneath and didn't even get touched. You can clearly see the replay. And that was not roughing the passer, especially the last one that was called on, what's his name, Harris. That was not a pass interference either. He barely clapped him in with the shoulder pads, and they try to say that he made contact with his helmet, and then you look at the replay, that never happened. Phantom holding calls. Reed jumps off sides with our first miss of our field goal. He jumps off sides on a 4th and 8. And mind you, the weather conditions are extremely cold, and it was kind of out of Fairbrini's range. But Reed got the early jump, and they didn't call it. Now, they're going to say, well, you still missed the field goal. Yeah, but the fact is that you should have been called. We would have been on 4th and 3. And who knows if we would have went for it or if we would have attempted another field goal that would have been 5 yards closer. Who knows if it would have went in or not? We would never know. Because we weren't given the opportunity because the refs didn't call it. They had a referee that literally is 7-0 when he's refereeing Chiefs games. Why is he refereeing the game? This doesn't make any sense. You can clearly tell that the Chiefs were getting favorable calls. And there's nothing else to say. And then, of course, I saw the fans were like, what about the 3 field goals you missed? I'm like, well, yeah, what about the one where Reed jumped off sides? How about that? Did you not forget about that? It's all of a sudden they have amnesia. It's unbelievable. But nonetheless, the Texans did struggle offensively as well. You can tell that Diggs being out and Dell being out did hurt the offense. Did. We weren't really mixing up the run game as much as we should have in this game. Why is Schultz not involved more in the offense? I don't know. Why Hutchinson was dropping more passes? I don't know. But nonetheless, we struggled offensively, definitely. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, we played a perfect game, because no, we didn't. We played terrible. We are the worst team in our we're the best of the worst teams in our division. So many people say, well, the Texans should have made the playoffs, and maybe you could make an argument for that. Wild card game, we struggled in the first half against the Chargers, and then we played an excellent second half, defensively. But one thing that I can say for certain, our offense was struggling. And I knew going into Kansas City that was going to be a challenge. It was going to be a challenge nonetheless. And therefore, I kind of saw it coming, a mile away. Um, if you're a Chiefs fan, you know, I get you're going to defend your team because the Patriots fans did it, and every other team that got phantom calls did the same thing. It's life. So I don't necessarily blame them for defending it. Even if, like, let's say for the sake of argument, they know that the referees are helping them and they kind of can see it, but at the same time, they're just going to, they would do what anybody else would be. You, as a natural human mentality, you're going to defend yourself. Even if the allegations against you are true, you're going to defend yourself. So I get it. I get why Chiefs Kingdom would, in that case would be like, hey, you could have did this, and that. I think that was a knee-jerk reaction to the allegations that were being made against them that they know the referees helped them. I'm not saying you didn't win. I'm just saying you just had the refs help. At least Tyson from the Patriots fan base at least admitted that the Patriots were cheating and had the refs help. And he said, hey, why even deny it? I know it's happening. I don't give a fuck. We're winning. And we're getting wins for it. Hey, all power to you. So if you're a Chiefs fan, if I was a Chiefs fan, I would defend them. Even if let's just say the refs came out and said, yeah, this is the narrative we're passing, the refs are going to help us. I would defend it if I was a Chiefs fan. Hell, if I was a Texans fan and we got phantom calls, I'll defend it. I think it's just natural mentality that people would do. Is you're gonna, defend your honor. It's no different than, let's say, OnlyFans girls that get ragged on all the time by all these, guys online about saying, oh, they're whores and stuff, and they defend themselves, right? Right? So, I don't blame, people when their backs are against the wall and people are attacking them. Your first natural human instinct is to defend yourself. That's just the natural human instinct. That's just the way it is. I'm just saying, if you're not a fan of the Chiefs, it sucks for you if you're on the other side of those calls. And are the Chiefs the only team that's done this? No, there's other teams that have done it around the NFL. I remember a game we played in Mexico City or against the Raiders. I think that was back in 2016, 2017. I'll never forget. They were getting phantom calls left and right. I remember a play where one of their defenders was clearly out of bounds, and he caught the fucking ball and ran into touchdown. And the referees didn't care. And I remember I was fucking pissed about that. And Raiders fans were like, fuck you. You lost fair and square. And I'm like, what about your guy was out of bounds? Oh, we don't care. Fuck you. It's like, okay. I just look at it like this. I don't care if the phantom calls are made or if you benefit from it. Just keep that same energy when it happens to you. Don't sit there and complain about the referees when they bailed you out. That's all I'll say is just keep that same energy when the calls don't go against you. Remember, that's fair because you said it yourself that, yes, we are aware the referees are doing this. We don't care. Okay, well, then when the refs are not doing it in your favor and they're helping another team, just keep the same energy. That's all I'm asking. It goes both ways. It's like when I was telling Patriots fans, they were complaining that the referee's been screwing them the last couple of years when Belichick was there before he left. And I saw some of those games, and it was true. I was watching a game against Green Bay where the referees were just fucking with Bill Belichick, and he was just going ape shit on the sideline, and they were laughing at some phantom calls that was being made. I'll never forget that game. It was a Lambeau. I think it was either last year or the year before that. And I said, yeah, the referees are helping Green Bay, but at the same time, I'm like, remember when the referees were helping out New England for the last 20 years, nobody said nothing, and it was like that was okay for Patriots fans. That's okay. So you keep that same energy now when those calls go against you. That's all I say. And so, again, that game against Kansas City, the referees did help. And even if they say, oh, get over it, boo-hoo, you're a hater, or, you would have lost anyway. or what about your field goal kicker missed 3 kicks? And I'm like, okay, that is true. The extra point he missed, 2 he missed, 1 Reed jumped early on the which should have been offsides on you guys on the first one. So if you want to throw that in there, then I'm going to throw Reed's early jump on there. If you're going to throw that at me, and secondly, I'm acknowledging the mistakes that the Texans made. I'm not denying it. I said, listen, we did make a lot of mistakes in that game. Offensively, we've been struggling. Diggs going out, Dell going out, that didn't help. All I'm saying is that if you want to throw that in there, then I'm going to throw the phantom calls in there too. And I'm going to say, with the help of referees, alongside with our struggles, and you won the game. That's all I'm saying. If you want to sit there and act like I'm being a hater or something, that's fine. You can do that. But the facts are the referees bailed you out as part of the equation. That's what I'm saying. And you can take it any way you want to take it. You can say, oh, you're being a whiner or stuff. No, the referees assisted you in this victory. If you want to say, well, that's fine. That's a badge of honor. Okay, fine, cool. You wear this badge of honor. You acknowledged it. I just want you to acknowledge that the referees did help, and you've been getting phantom calls for quite some time now. You're actually getting the Patriots sort of dynasty phantom calls. And so the bigger picture is that the NFL is painting a narrative is that they want Kansas City, obviously, to win 3 in a row because no NFL team's ever done it. So if they award Kansas City 3 in a row, then they'll be the first ever team to do so. So it'll be like that dynasty talk ratings. You got, of course, you got what's her name, Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift and the Swifties. So they're sort of like that celebrity, guru storyline, and then you got the whole Mahomes and is he the next GOAT and this and that, and the pretty boy of the NFL, and that's sort of where they're going with it. I don't think they would want a struggling Texan team that barely won the AFC South as a Final Four representative. My answer to that is okay, that's fine. I have no problem with that. If you don't want Texans as the Final Four representative because you feel it would affect your ratings, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. All I'm saying is just acknowledge it, that that's what's going on. That's what the narrative is. The storyline is in the script. That's all I'm saying. Is my team better than Kansas City? No. Are we more talented than them? No. Are there some struggles we had in this game offensively? Absolutely. There's no question about it. I'm not acknowledging the Texans' faults and the coaching staff. I think one on D'Amico before halftime, choosing to let the clock run out from 106 to 30 seconds with 3 timeouts left, settling for a field goal to knock it to a 1-score game when he could have tried to take some shots to the end zone when you're down on the 35, 30-yard line. It's like, dude, why you didn't take shots down the field? Why would you let the clock run all the way 30 seconds, and then take a loss or take a timeout? You burn literally over half the clock. This doesn't make any sense. So when I saw that, I said, there's something that's not right about this picture. The thing is I get it. It's about ratings, So I understand, why they would need the Chiefs to win this game. So I get it. All I'm saying is that acknowledge the fact. All you have to do is just say, I acknowledge the fact that the referees are helping us. That's it. There's no, it's not going to demoralize your character. You just say, hey, the referees are helping us, so what? If I was a Chiefs fan, I would look at that game and say, oh man, look, those referees are helping us out. I guess the NFL wants us to win 3 in a row. Oh, fuck, I guess it sucks to be you guys. I'm not saying I'd wear like a badge of honor, but I would acknowledge that it's happening. You would have to be a fool if you're a Chiefs fan and completely denying what you're seeing on the field. If it's either you're denying it or you're just being a troll because the phantom calls are there. And I've never blamed the referees for much, even though in Mexico City we got robbed by the Raiders in 2017, where a guy was out of bounds, caught the fucking ball and ran in the end zone. I was watching a play. It makes no sense. The Chiefs, I think Travis Kelce caught a pass, or was it Kelce? I forgot who it was. Clearly was short of the first down. And then the second referee grabs the fucking ball and gives him 2 extra yards. And he's arguing with the initial ref that ruled it down. And was saying, no, he got the ball over to pylon and got the first down. Now, the Chiefs ended up running the play after that and got the first down with Kareem Hunt. And he did a spin move and got the extra 4 yards. So, yes, he did get the first down on that 4th and 1. But you literally had a referee that was trying to take the fucking ball from the original official that ruled it down a yard short, and he was trying to advance the ball 3 yards and signal the first down. I'm literally watching this in 4K. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? The field goal that we missed, the first one, was wide right. Not arguing that. The question was why the offsides wasn't called on Reed, got the early jump. The announcers were ripping apart this officiating. It was disgusting, terrible, laughable. And even if we are a bad team, which I would say at this point with injuries, we're not good. We were struggling. We were still able to keep up with you guys despite the fact of our struggles. We still, kept it within a fighting range. So, with that being said, you guys did win at the end of the day. So I'm over it. I'm over it. But what pisses me off the most is when they say, well, it's the 3 missed field goals. It's the 3 missed field goals. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold on. If you're going to say the 3 missed field goals, I'll give you the extra point miss and I'll give you the second field goal we missed. But the first one, Reed jumped off sides. And you don't see any Chiefs fans talking about that. They don't mention that part about how Reed jumped off sides. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about how he got the early jump and it forced it hesitated our place kicker. They didn't talk about that part. They didn't talk about the phantom roughing the passer calls where literally 2 of our defenders hit each other and didn't even touch Mahomes. Clearly saw on the replay. Even Troy Aikman was fucking shredding that officiating crew. And again, it was. You could literally see Mahomes just slides under both of them, and they both collide with each other, and there's a rough in the passer call on Mahomes. And mind you, he got past the line of scrimmage and ran like 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. So please define what rough in the passer is. What is a tackle? What is a catch in the NFL, by the way? What is a catch? So y'all need to figure out something, in the offseason. This will be a learning lesson. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. No, absolutely not. It is what it is. I'm just saying. Old Texas Chapman says to quit playing about the Kansas City Chiefs as a cheating dude. Look at the Detroit game. The referees missed several plays that should have gone against Washington. Okay, well then they have a chance. They have a right to complain. I never said they shouldn't. You'll probably see a Detroit Lions video maker talking about that later. It just maybe hasn't gone live yet. But there are some Detroit Lions video makers. And I'm pretty sure they'll probably talk about it. I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I just watched my game. So it is what it. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Texans didn't struggle. At least I was man enough to admit it. All I'm asking is if you're a Chiefs fan watching, you have to acknowledge your part. That's all I'm saying. This failure to do so is straight ignorance or you're just simply a troll. Those were not those were not roughing the passer. There's 2 calls. Phantom holding calls that didn't exist. Referees trying to advance the first down on, past when the referee was on the other side of the field made no goddamn sense. Jumping offsides on the first field goal. This blatant missed calls. And the referees aren't even hiding it anymore. That's, the sad thing about it is they're not even hiding it anymore. You don't have to look at the replay anymore. You just look at the field and just see, okay, they're just like, oop, yep, there's a flag right there. Oop, yep, there's a flag. And they're completely throwing the flags now. Like it's nothing. It don't mean nothing. So what is roughing the passer? I haven't figured out what it is yet. Still trying to figure that out. I haven't figured out. Somebody educate me. Show me the NFL rule book on what roughing the passer is. Mahomes was not hitting the helmet at all on either one of them. And they awarded it to him. This is what I'm saying. It's bullshit. It's crap. It's just garbage. Like, how does he run past the line of scrimmage 3 yards and two of our defenders collide against each other when he's sliding, and and he gets the roughing the passer when he was not hit at all? But what the kind of crap is this, man? What kind of crap are you selling? You know, and it's funny because the main thing the Chiefs say is your kicker sucks. Yeah, he does. Fairbrady had a bad game. I'm not going to deny that. Fairbrady did suck. What about the first field goal, though? The offsides. Am I going to get my 5-yard penalty for that? Are we going to mulligan it like in Madden 02 and get my 5 yards for that? Nope. Are you going to acknowledge that? Nope. You say it in the comments, trolling. Oh, with the 3 missed field goals, but they forgot to mention that Reed jumped to fucking offsides on the first one. And the refs didn't call it. They're standing right there. How do you not call it? So I realize now that there's a bigger picture. It's about ratings, And, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a Patriots fan. He said, listen, they're trying to pass a narrative and stuff. It's like they kind of did with New England. They have to have a face of the league, and Mahomes is that guy. So, they got to put him in the talk with Brady, ring chaser. And this is like, so they can't, it doesn't make sense to lose to the Texans. It would look bad on ratings. And I kind of thought about it. I said, that does kind of make sense from like a business perspective. If I'm, going to take this jersey off and I'm going to put it on the side and not even talk about it. Like, let's just say I'm not a Texan fan. Let's just put it on the side. And I looked at it from a business perspective. Okay. I would say that makes sense to rig the games because you want the best teams in the championship game. The Texans are not the best team. The difference is I can at least admit that. I can admit that. Even if, let's say, if I'm a business owner and I looked at the 8 teams on the board, I see Texans as the worst team from the ratings. We're not getting no ratings with them in the Final Four. So it doesn't make sense to have them win. So it makes sense to rig the game. And I probably would rig it. Even if the Texans weren't going to win, I would make sure they weren't. Makes sense. But see, the difference is I can at least admit that. I can admit that if given the opportunity to look from ratings and what's going to make me the most money, I would rig these games to make sure the best 2 teams get in. Or whatever teams are going to give me the biggest ratings. And right now, Kansas City with the whole Taylor Swift and you got the sort of like the Desperate Housewives or whatever, Jersey Shore sort of storyline there. And then you got the Patrick Mahomes and, is he going to chase Brady's ring count? And so it sort of adds an element to like the whole, is he going to chase Brady and is he going to surpass him? And so kind of if you're going to rig it, it would make sense too. So don't sit here and act like I don't acknowledge the business side of it. I get it. I'm not angry. That's what I'm saying. I'm not angry. I said it's okay. People that ask me all the time, like at the end of the game, are you mad? I'm like, nah. Why would I? Because I understand what they're doing. It's about ratings at the end of the day. It's no different than watching NBA. They want Celtics and Lakers in the finals, and so they'll beef those teams up. Then they'll give New York a chance and let the big market teams, build and stuff. And so I get why they do what they do. I just don't understand why this is all a surprise. Like, I get Chiefs fans, if you're a fan of the team that the phantom calls are going on your way, I get it, defend it. I would. If the Texans were a 4-time Super Bowl champion, 4 out of the last 5 years, and they said, hey, Mr. Rose, we're going to rig these games for the Texans, I'd say, okay, cool. Like, I'm down. Like, I'm not denying my part. I think that's cool. That's cool. So if fans were coming at me and saying, hey, Mr. Rose, your team's fucking cheating. They're doing this, they're doing that. They're getting the phantom calls. I say, you're absolutely goddamn right. And I acknowledge it. And I love it. That's all I'm saying. I would acknowledge it and say, why am I going to deny it? I see the bad calls are made and I love it. It's benefiting me. Sucks to be you. Because that's the world we live in anyway. So we live in a world Where if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And foolery and trickery, it's no different than politics. It's the same thing where guys are getting bribes and kickbacks from corporations so they can pass laws to benefit them while they save on taxes while sending our jobs overseas. And this, I mean, it goes further than what you think. Like it's the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Is at the end of the day, we live in a society of stealing. Anyway, I mean, if you look at society now, it's not really capitalism anymore. It's just a bunch of land grabbing. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Whether it's the real estate crisis, whether it's big fish eating smaller fish in the private market sector, whether it's stealing from employer to employer, employee to employee, or rather the crime rate goes up. If you kind of look at the way life is, from cheating allegations and all this to sports and rigging and gambling and Vegas odds, it all makes sense. It's a show. It's entertainment. It's smoke and mirrors. The difference is I can at least acknowledge it, that it's happening. I'm not in denial. If anybody sat there and said that game was called completely fairly, both sides, I would tell you, you are completely insane and you are a troll. That's just basically what you're doing, is trolling at that point. If you sit there and tell me that the referees did not bail the Chiefs out at all, without any acknowledgement, then you're basically a troll at this point. You're just trolling just to fuck with me, because you can clearly see the announcers were shredding them, the referees. People from other teams were acknowledging that this was happening. This is not just Texans fans outrageous or outright. This is coming from around the league. Troitman, who I think is personally a piece of shit, he actually defended us. I'm like, wow, this guy's an arrogant prick, but I'll give him props for that. So when you got guys in the announcer booth actually saying, what the fuck is this? That's when you know we have a picture. We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. That old saying goes. Yes. Yes. Did I say that the Chiefs paid the referees? I never said that. I said the NFL is telling the referees to make these phantom calls. That's what I'm saying. But I acknowledge it. Yeah. Unless it's a blowout. Yeah, absolutely. Kansas City didn't rig the game. You blame someone else, blame the commissioner. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I never said it was Kansas City Chiefs' fault. I never said it was a fan's fault. I said I just want you to acknowledge what's happening. That's it. Just say, hey, look, man, I'm fully aware these refs are helping us. That's it. That's all. And you can say, you can even try to defend it and say, well, it's not affecting the outcome of the games. The same thing Patriots do. Patriots fans did forever. Said it's not affecting the games. Like, get the fuck out of here. It is affecting the fucking game. You clearly can't fucking see it, but that's okay. It's not a big deal, because I get, at the end of the day, what the price is made. They want the ratings. Texans in the Final Four makes no sense. As much as it pains me to admit that, I will admit that it makes sense not to have the Texans in the Final Four from a business rating standpoint. Full of injuries, the offense is lackluster. We're in the worst division in football, the worst fucking division in football. We didn't deserve to make the playoffs, in my personal opinion, even at 10-7. With the injuries, with the struggle in the offense, we looked really terrible. And the only reason why we got bailed out in the Chargers game is because the defense stepped up in the second half and got like 4 fucking picks. So really, it wasn't the offense in that game against the Chargers. And the Chargers are already lacking in receiver dead anyway. So it was already clear that it was a 50-50 split. I didn't think we were going to beat the Chargers the way we did, though. But if I had a chance to go back, I would have preferred the Chargers to beat us and play the Chiefs. That way it would make more sense from a divisional standpoint, 2 division teams going at it versus us playing them. Now we're 0-6 in divisional games. Whoop-de-doo. In 23 years. We have not yet to win a divisional round game. We're completely 0-6. And it's, again, it's, I'm not mad. Maybe I was mad in the moment, but like now that I look at the bigger picture, it kind of makes sense to rig the games. What I'm going to say this, though. If Roger Goodell, you're watching this, and I know you are. I know what you're doing. It's okay. I'm not mad. What I will say is do one for us and rig 1 year for us to win a Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. And that's all I want. Rig 1 year for us. I don't know when that'll be. It could be 6 years, 10 years from now. We'll do it once for us. That's all I ask. Give my franchise one championship. And that's all I ask for. I won't bother you again. Just rig it one for us. That's okay. You know, if you want to give the Chiefs 10 Super Bowls, that's fine. Give us one. 2035. Give us one Super Bowl. You rig it. Do whatever you got to do. Make it happen. That's how I look at it. Yeah, those calls were BS. I agree. Yeah, they threw the flag on the dude celebrating with his coach. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I didn't even bring up that. I didn't bring up the fucking holding calls, the bogus holding calls they were making. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm sitting here at one point, I'm like, I kind of knew this was going to happen because I remember I was watching the highlights. And I'm like, man, what if the referees help the Chiefs out this week? I'm like, man, what am I talking about? They're going to do it. And then I watched the game and I saw like Reed jumped off sides and I'm like, oh my God. I knew this was going to fucking happen, bro. And I was just like, again, I literally saw one referee trying to advance the ball 3 yards and trying to tell the other referee, you didn't see that. And he's like, no, they were a yard short. They're like, no, he had the ball over here. And he was trying to move the ball like 3 yards up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And they were going to give him the first down. And so, yes, the referees did give us a couple of calls. They gave us a holding call in the second quarter that put the Chiefs at 2nd and 19. They ended up getting the 3 and out. We ended up getting the ball back. Now, if you want to say, well, the Texans offensively couldn't get first downs. They couldn't do this. They couldn't do that. They missed field goals. Okay, that's fine. I will acknowledge that. I'm only saying I'm going to put that into the package of our struggles, and I'm going to add the referee's assistance to the Kansas City Chiefs and put that in the package deal, present it, and say, this is what happened the entire game. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And if Chiefs win the Super Bowl, that's fine. I have no problem with it. I'm not mad. Well, first of all, the Fairbrady miss, Mr. Duval TV, Mr. Jack Tarts fan. First of all, you guys are at the bottom of the division. You're going to be down there for a long time, might I add. Remember, you answer to us, okay? We're your daddy. Remember that. You answer to us, okay? When you report to the principal's office, you come straight to us, okay? That's facts. That's life. That's been like that since the last 15 years, dominating you motherfuckers. Okay? Secondly, okay? The first missed field goal, if you were watching the damn game, okay? All right? You were watching the damn game, you saw Reed jump off sides. He clearly had the clear jump. It was clear as day as light. The ref sat there and then called goddamn pass offsides. What the fuck? You did not see that? Oh, okay, Jaguars fans. Okay. Remember, you're at the bottom of the division. You've been that way for a long time. 2 playoff appearances since 2008. I can roast you motherfuckers. I could roast you guys all day. I feel sorry for you, actually. You're like the Cleveland Browns. You're like at the bottom of the barrel. You're right fucking there at the bottom of the barrel. Remember, you answer to us. Jaguar Stadium is our fucking stadium. We've won there the last 5 fucking years. We've owned you. We'll continue to own you. That's our NRG Stadium, part 2. And we'll be glad to kick your asses next year again. We'll turn a favor to you again. We even beat you at our worst. You put our worst guys in there, Brock Osweiler, whatever. We'll still beat you. That's what Jaguars fans. You got your owner who cares more about wrestling than he does about the Jaguars. And that's facts. That is facts. You'll tell your owner to stop worrying about AEW and start worrying a fake fighting sport that actually worry about professional football. Okay? So with that being said, okay, back to the topic at hand, okay? You guys are watching from the couch, so listen to the playoff masters, the division masters, might I say, okay? That was an offsides. Clearly jumped over the line. Should have been called and was not called. So that should have been a 5-yard penalty, and we've gotten 4th and 3. Might have would have went for it. Might have re-kicked and made it. We were never given the opportunity to. Never. The Chiefs fans won't mention that part. No, no, they won't mention that. They won't say, "Oh yeah, okay, we went offside. Yeah, and so what?" No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, "Oh no, you missed the field goal. Yeah, that's because you jumped off sides. You got the early jump. Of course, we're going to miss. Of course, Stroud doesn't suck. No, absolutely not. Well, first of all, Brock Osweiler is not in the league anymore, so it doesn't matter. Stroud is the next up and coming. So, like I said, if Chiefs fans are going to sit here and say the referees did not help us out at all, and you're a liar, then you're basically just a troll at this point. And you're just trolling, basically just to fuck with me. As you know and I know, you cannot explain the calls that were being made on that field. I admit the Texans struggles on that field. I admit that we play in a shitty division, and we're the best in our division. And we play in a shit division with the Jagtards, the Coltards, and the Titantards. It's not my fault, you know. Again, Chiefs cheated, but it had to happen. It was the ratings. So I get it. I get the bigger picture. I don't care if they rig it for the Chiefs. I don't even care if they win this year or next year or the next year. Mr. Goodell, if you're watching this, mark my words when I say this. Say it slow so you can understand. Rig it once for us. That's all I ask. I'm aware of it. I know what you're doing. It's no secret. The cat's out of the bag. There's no hiding it anymore. These referees are trash. What I will tell you is rig one for us. That's all I ask. I don't care how you do it. Get it done. Like I said, that's the way the world is now. You got to cheat to fucking win. And I'm tired of fucking playing by the rules. It's time to start breaking some rules around here. And what I want is a Super Bowl and any way to get it, cheating, however, I don't care. I want it done. Because that's the only way to win. That's the sad part about where we're at, society. But unfortunately, that's how people are getting ahead. That's unfortunately it's cheating and bending the rules and taking bribes and insider trade and all that. I can go on and on and on. But that goes beyond football talk. That's life. Acknowledge that now. You got to cheat to win. So what I'm saying is I want our organization to cheat to win. I want a ring. 23 years in the league, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. 1960, the Houston Oilers never got a fucking ring. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of playing by the book. I'm sick of it. We got to play dirty. We got to play. We got to cheat. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if we go over the salary cap. I don't care. Like how we do it, get it done. Play dirty, get all the stops out. No more rules anymore. No more. Tired of it. Because that's what we're going to do to see other teams win. Then we got to get in the pool. The water's warm. Even though the pool's full of shit, but we got to get in the pool. That's what I want. That's exactly what I fucking want. I want to cheat to win. I know it sounds like disgusting, right? But if you look at all the teams that win Super Bowls, there's always controversy behind it. 49ers went over the salary cap. The Denver Broncos in the 90s went over the salary cap. The Dallas Cowboys went over the salary cap. You know, if you go NBA, it's the same thing. The Miami Heat they violated contractual obligations. We're talking to players still in contract to get Chris Bosh and LeBron and Wade in the same team, which where they were in violation of the NBA tampering laws. This stuff happens all the time. So it's not like it's not uncommon. I'm just saying I think the Texans need to look at the damn board for what it is and say if this is what we have to do, then it can happen. Because there ain't no way. There's no way else to get it done. If Chiefs says okay, the refs are helping us. Clearly this year. I don't know about last year or the year before, but for this year we can say they are helping us. Okay, cool. So you got your niche. I want mine. I want the refs to cheat for us now. Yeah. Why not? Everyone else is doing it. Seems like to me that's the only way to get ahead. I want the refs to help us out. I want us to cheat. I want a Super Bowl. That's it. No more. I want to hang one on my trophy case. A plastic one or a replica. Just to say we did it once. Controversial call, referees bailing us out, whatever. Phantom calls, blah, blah, blah. I don't care anymore. I just want to get it fucking done. because this whole playing by the book shit's not working anymore. This whole, if you just, stick the course and, eventually it'll fade out. No, no, they're just gonna keep going by the ratings and they're just gonna keep cheating. I just want to do it my house. I just want to get my hands. I want to get my hands in on it. I want it all. God damn it. That's what I want. I want to win the whole thing. I'm tired of losing. Sick of it. So the only way to do it is to cheat. Man, I know it sounds kind of like bad, right? It sounds like kind of like I'm like entering, selling my soul, right? To the devil. No, no. I just want to win a championship. Look at the Patriots, 6 titles, or 6 championships. Like, people say, man, that's a dynasty. And, there's the cheating allegations for everyone. They have like a Spygate and, Flaggate and Spygate and this, and that, and all these different, terms they give them. But if you're a Patriots fan, you fucking love it. You're like, man, look, I got all these rings and all this. And then Tom Brady wins 7, and people say, well, he's a cheater. And then people's like, well, over time, man, he's a really good guy. He's a good quarterback. Like the whole terminology has changed over the years. So Patrick Mahomes will get the villain treatment for now. They'll win this year, probably next year, may get 2 more. They get like 6 or 7 rings. And then 5 years after that, 10 years after Mahomes is gone, they're going to say, oh man, he was a fucking badass quarterback. They're going to override all the allegations. Even if they're all true, they're just going to override the whole damn thing. That's what I want now. Win at all costs. Get the 3 or 4 championships here, or at least 2. And then from there, from 10 years, 20 years, they'll say, man, Texans actually pulled it off twice. The history shows they did it twice, or once or whatever. Just fucking sick of this, man. Fucking sick of playing by the rules. And people bending it and fucking getting by in life. I'm just tired of it. It's better to just acknowledge it. I mean, the Chiefs before all that happened, the Chiefs, were probably victims of phantom calls, right? Now they're the villain. So I think the Texans need to be that villain now. They need to get a little bit dirty. They need to pull some stops. They need to get really competitive. We can do that in the draft. We can do that in the offseason. But, at the end of the day, we need some phantom calls. We need some referees. We need some referees, man. I'm so sick of it, man. We've had this before against the Ravens. We've had this before against the Patriots. We've had this before against the Chiefs. I'm tired of it. It's time. I'm thinking, I'm sitting here seeing all these teams like pulling stops. I'm like, why are we not doing that? Why? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not cheating to win? Right? I mean, it makes sense, right? Why are we not pulling the stops? What is preventing us from doing that? Why can't we do that? Why can't we have our slice of the pie? I think now it's time we need to start getting greedy. Real soon. That's what I'm saying. If you're any NFL team, you probably would think the same. Why not all of us start playing dirty? Maybe that'll bring back the real rivalry in sports, right? Yeah, they were blind yesterday. The referees did help the Chiefs. That's all I said. Kansas City won the game. We struggled. We missed fucking field goals and stuff. Not denying that. The first one was questionable, but the rest we did miss. Fairbrainy had a bad game. Offensively, we struggled for most of the part. Xavier Hutchinson wasn't securing catches, and our run game wasn't as effective as it should have been. We should have probably given the ball to Mixon a little bit more. But, when you don't have receivers making plays other than Nico, it's going to be kind of hard to move the ball. And when you got Diggs out, you got Dell out, that adds to it. You got them out, it adds to that. So we're 0-6 now in divisional play. And we're 6-8 in the playoffs. Total. Wow, 6-8. You can't get to the Final Four. I don't know what it is. But 0-6. You guys believe that shit? 0-6 in the playoffs. Or in the divisional round. We can't get to the Final Four. I don't understand it. We cannot get to the AFC Championship game. We blew the 28-0 lead against the Chiefs. That was the year we should have won. Oh, yeah, with Deshaun Watson, that was the year we should have won. Oh, absolutely. That was the 2019 season. Yeah, we should have won. That was probably the best year we had a chance to win Super Bowl. And honestly, we kind of made the Chiefs a dynasty because they came back and beat us. They beat the Tennessee Titans hard, I think the following week. They went to the Super Bowl, but they beat the Niners. Yeah, they beat San Francisco the first time. And yeah, we did blow the 28-0 lead. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying it. Okay? I'm not sitting here and denying that shit. All I'm saying is the referees did it. They made a big difference in this game. Big difference. They say that with the referees, it's not like their calls changed the momentum of the game. Bullshit. Bullshit. It does make a big difference at the game. It does make the referees can turn the momentum of the game around. Absolutely. All it takes is just a couple bad calls. What about, again, you keep saying 8 sacks. Y'all keep saying the missed field goals, but you won't talk about the first one, the first field goal, where Reed was offsides, was he not? What about the 2 roughing the passer calls that were not roughing the passer? What about that? What about them bad calls, man? See, it's a knee-jerk reaction to say, oh, let's not talk about the referees helping us. I want to talk about what you did. It's like, yeah, I acknowledge what I did. I just said it 100 times that we struggled. The offensive line wasn't doing well. Forgot to mention that part. I mentioned that. I'm talking about the bad calls and the first missed field goals we had. The knee-jerk reaction is blaming the refs. Okay, then explain to me both of the rough and the passer calls. Explain that to me. Explain how 2 Texans defenders hit each other and the flag was called against Mahomes. Explain that to me. Where he was right underneath both of them. The helmet was not touched. And he ran past the line of scrimmage 3 yards, slid underneath. 2 Texans defenders hit each other. But a flag was called on Mahomes for roughing the passer, apparently. And the flop that Mahomes had going out of bounds. He was flopping for another call. He knows the referees are baiting off of him. He knows. Chiefs fans, no, they know the refs are baiting off of this guy. They know that. It's amazing to me how one guy can literally dictate the referee's calls. I've never seen that, except for guys like Michael Jordan or LeBron. You name a couple. Tom Brady. It's rare to see it. But when you do, how does one guy have so much influence like that? I believe that the NFL is desperate for ratings, even though they haven't. Brady left might have affected their ratings a little bit. They need a guy to be the face of the league. Who was that? Mahomes. I'm not saying Mahomes is not good. I'm not saying Mahomes is not great. I'm not saying that the Chiefs will not win this year because I pretty much called it 2 years ago. They're going to win 3 in a row. I called it. I even said they were going to win 4 out of the next 5 after they beat us and won the Super Bowl against the Niners. I said they'll probably win 4 out of the next 5 years. I just threw that as a joke. It looks like it's going to be right. I'm not denying he's good. I'm just saying that he has so much influence on how the referees officiate, just single-handedly, when he plays. Not even just by, the fact that certain referees are more prone to calling calls in his favor, but the fact that he can sit there after a sack and he'll look at the referee like this and hold his hand up, and the ref will say, "Oh, my bad, I forgot," and he threw the fucking flag. I've seen it before. And I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I've never seen anything like that. Since Jordan. And he can look at the ref and just like, you're not going to call that, and the ref's like, oh, my bad, that's a rough in the passer. It's like, dude, what the fuck is that? You know, I've never seen shit like this, like so often. It's it's crazy. But the bad thing, well, the good thing about it is, I guess if you're a Chiefs fan, you're like, hey, boo. But if you're an opposing fan, this sucks. If you're 31 NFL teams, this fucking sucks. But if you're a Chiefs fan, it's great. You know, it's great. You know, like I said, if this was happening here, I would love it. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. I would say, yeah, you know, I'll defend it. I'll defend every which way I could. But I can at least acknowledge that. Saying that, I could at least admit and say, okay, if I was in the same position, I would like it. That's why I said, you rigged this shit for the Texans 1 year, I won't bother. I won't ever bring it up again. Just rig it once for us. That's all I ask, Mr. Goodell. Now, Chiefs fans, I read some comments. You said, well, you know, it's the commissioner's fault. Yeah, it is his fucking fault. It is. But at the end of the day, he's going to say, well, we need ratings. Your team sucks anyway, so we don't need them there. That's bad for ratings. We need. It's like when the Yankees and the Dodgers played. You can clearly see in that series before when the Kansas City Royals played the Yankees, the Royals really should have won. They had the lead in the eighth inning. Some bogus calls were made. The Royals should have beaten the Yankees. That should have been an underdog Cinderella story. And they could have lived off the Chiefs' hype when said, hey, Kansas City's on the rise. Look at the Royals. Royals should be in the ALCS. You look at the same thing with the Cleveland Guardians. Should have beaten the Yankees. The MLB wanted the Yankees in the fucking World Series. They rigged it. It's clearly, you can see now today that they're rigging it. They wanted the Yankees and the Dodgers, an LA, New York market, a big giant market, of two giant market teams. They didn't want the Royals in the Final Four, which I would have thought it would have been cool to see a Guardians Royals Final Four. This is for Major League Baseball. I'm not even a baseball fan. Really, I'm just a casual fan. But that's it. But the Royals should have beaten the Yankees. And that's just me admitting it, but the Royals are not like the Chiefs. It's a different scenario. They're a small market team, not big ratings to have the Royals in the Final Four. And Major League Baseball struggling in ratings. That's why they changed all the rules, because nobody watches baseball that much anymore. So, you know, so baseball's been having those issues for years. But what I'm saying is for the NFL, you know, they need the ratings. And so it kind of makes sense from a business standpoint to rig games for the Chiefs. Doesn't work in my favor, but if you're a Chiefs fan, it's brilliant. It's a market. It's you know, a dynasty in the making. 4 out of the 5 next year and stuff. You can sort of build a bandwagon fan base with other people from other countries and stuff. So it's a global market. So it's like, okay, I get why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I get why they're doing it. I just want a piece of pie now. I just say Mahomes is retired. He's done. He's got his 6 or 7 or 8 rings, and him and Brady they're gonna go back and forth over the GOAT debate or whatever, like Michael Jordan and Kobe, and they do that shit. Pencil us in 1 year, the win. That's it. That's all I ask. I just want Houston to get one fucking Super Bowl. Since 1960 until '96, the Oilers were here and left and moved, and Bud Adams took his talent and headed to Nashville, and took his talent over there. Then they became the Tennessee Oilers for a couple of years, and then migrated to the Titans and went to one Super Bowl against the Rams and a whole 1-yard catch stretch for probably one of the best Super Bowl innings of all time. Probably one of the top 5, at least top 5 Super Bowls of all time. Rams, Titans, 99 year. I'm only asking, if you're going to rig shit, do it for us one time. That's all I ask. I just want 1 year to be our year. To jump, imagine we battling for number 1 seed. They gave us 3 games in 10 days. Again, look, if you guys win, all power to you. All power to you. If you guys win, all power to you. I'm not even mad. Okay? If you guys win the Super Bowl, get your 4th ring, or would it be 5 or 6? I don't know how many Super Bowls you'll have all time. I'm just counting the Mahomes ones. 4. And go get your ring. However it's done. It don't matter if it's phantom calls or I don't give a shit. Get it done. You got the win. Congratulations. You got it. All I'm saying is when this shit is over, this is going to be over in 5, 6, 7 years. I'll be waiting until then, patiently. If I'm still alive, hopefully I'm not dead. If I'm still alive, I will be waiting, and I will personally send a letter to Roger Goodell asking him, can you create a storyline that's going to get Houston, the fourth largest city in the market, the fourth largest city in the United States, if I'm correct, fourth largest. Is there any way you can pencil that in for a global market there? 1 year, that's all I ask. Even if it's like a Milwaukee Bucks 2021 season, magical season, where they win once and you never hear from them again. Like something like that. I'll be okay with that. I just want one. That's it. I'm not a greedy person. I don't need 10. I don't need 20 rings. One. That's all I ask. Rams versus Chiefs 2018. No, it's not Chiefs for life. Mahomes can't play forever. Mahomes cannot play forever. He cannot. He cannot play forever. That's why I said everybody has a shelf life. When Mahomes retires in 6 years, 7, I'll give him 6 to 7, 2030. And I will be waiting. Until then, I'll be patient. I'll be rooting for my Longhorns until then. All right, my Rockets, so on. I got other sports. I'll be waiting for us to come around. And I'm going to tell Mr. Goodell, would you please rig it once for us? Just like you did with these other teams. That's all I ask. One time. That's it. That's what I have to say. Playing 3 games. I never said that playing 3 games to get the number 1 seed. I never acknowledged the fact that you guys aren't a good team. I'm not saying that. Okay? I'm not saying that. See, look, Juan said Houston deserves a ring for what? See, he's already saying that we don't deserve one. Well, as of right now, no, we don't. But I'm saying in 2030, maybe. 2031, 2032, I will be waiting. Waiting. Okay? I will be waiting for my ring. The NFL is rigged. Oh, absolutely. You'd have to be fool not to see it. Are you kidding me? Do you not see the NFL rigging games against the Bengals? Oh, don't even get started with that one. The Bengals should have won the fucking Super Bowl. I'm not even a Bengals fan. Do you not see how the referees dick around with Cleveland Browns all the time? Oh, same old Browns. Not only they rig the games against the Browns, I'm not saying the Browns don't suck. But what I'm saying is the NFL loves messing with them. Just like they like messing with the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. There are certain teams, they love kicking the can around so they can see the fans rally up online and get angry. That's what it's about. It's about the shock value and the entertainment. No, football's rigged. NFL's rigged. Sorry, you missed the memoir. Did you not watch the game, Juan? Did you not see the calls? Did you not see the calls? Go watch the game and then come back to me. I'll even highlight the plays that you need to go watch. The 2 roughing the passer calls. You not see that? Do you not see Reed jumping off sides on the first field goal? You not see that? The referee said, staring right at him from the fucking sideline, and the guy didn't call nothing. Did you not see Mahomes trying to sell a flop on the sideline? Trying to draw a foul? Did you not see a referee trying to drag the ball 3 yards, giving them the first fucking down? Nah, don't tell me that shit's not rigged. It is. But it's okay. I'm not upset. I understand why they did it. I understand why they did it. Because it's business. At the end of the day, it's business. And what do they need? Ratings. Texans don't give ratings. That's what it is. It wouldn't make sense for the Texans to win that game. It wouldn't. If Texans were the AFC Championship game, a decrepit team that barely hopped in, a weak division, and barely won with losing their number 1 and number 3 receiver, and then having to play in a struggling game against the Chargers where your defense basically bailed you out, and then having to play the Chiefs, a defending 2-time champion, and winners of 3 out of the last 4 years, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I believe it was 3 out of the last 4 years. So it wouldn't make sense to have a scenario where the Texans win that game, even if you call it fair. It wouldn't make sense. You would, even if, let's say, the Texans were equally as talented as the Chiefs going into this game, despite all the injuries we have, you still can't have the Texans win this game. You can't. You can't have them win because it doesn't make any sense. It's ratings. It's rigged. You have to rig it. You almost have to rig that game. You have to. Even if the Chiefs would have won without it, you still have to do it. It has to be done. Because at the end of the day, it's ratings. You need the Chiefs in the Final Four against the Buffalo Bills or the Ravens. That's going to be a good game. It's going to draw ratings. Mahomes, the defending champion. His team's in the AFC Championship again. With a opportunity to go to the Super Bowl again. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. I get it. It's a ticket seller. Celebrities. Celebrity aspect behind it. I get why they're doing it. I get why the referees are helping. I get why the NFL commissioner is doing what he's doing. I totally understand it. I didn't at first because I was younger. The Patriots were cheating, and the NFL was doing that. They're trying to do the whole patriotic thing with the New England Patriots storyline. And I finally, through all these years of watching football, I sort of get it now. I'm like, okay, I get this, the story they're selling, what they're trying to sell. I get it. You have to rig these games. Siding team in the NFL to lose enough. Exactly. Benjamin Blessing, I get it. No, but you're saying the Lions, by the way. But the Lions, let's just be honest. The Lions are an up-and-coming team, but they're going to get buried in the Super Bowl anyway because they're just going to make the Chiefs beat them. This is what it is. The writing is all over the wall. And the Buffalo Bills are known for choking in the playoffs, and that's the same for the Ravens. They're going to do the same to them. One of those teams is going to get some controversial calls in the AFC Championship game. You heard it first from me. And you're going to say, well, it's not like we didn't already know that, Rose. I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. But I'm just telling you what's going to happen. There's going to be some controversial calls made. And if you're a Ravens or Bills fan, you're not going to like it. At the end of the day, the Chiefs being the first NFL team to win 3 years in a row, or the first team to ever win 3 years in a row, back to back to back, has sort of a spice to it from a business standpoint. I get it. I get what they're doing. So I'm not mad. I understand what the message or the narrative or the storyline they're passing is that they want Mahomes to win as many rings as he can so that he can get in the Brady talk or the conversation of the GOAT, LeBron Jordan talk. And I think that's where, where they're at. And I think it makes sense. What other storylines do you have in the NFL? Besides players getting injured, CTE, NFL facing new allegations of lawsuits, Deshaun Watson still messing around, doing his thing on the side. The NFL doesn't really have a storyline that just really sticks. There's not there's not a storyline that the NFL has right now other than Patrick Mahomes, the Andy Reid resurrection from his failures in Philly. Now he's a multiple-time champion, second up and coming, blah, 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 blah. And then you got Chiefs being a dynasty, them being a small market team prior, and now being a big market team. Now Kansas City Chiefs are now not like the Royals that are still small market, but did win a World Series. Or I think they have a number of World Series, but they won one back in, was 2013 or something like that, or 2011, I don't remember the year. But the Chiefs will now be in, you can now market a Kansas City Chiefs brand like you would a San Francisco brand. An LA market, a New York market, now you can include the Chiefs in there. Selling jerseys and stuff. Mahomes being the best quarterback in the league, which he is. Mahomes being, the highest paid quarterback, which I still think he is. I might be wrong. I just think he is the highest paid quarterback. And being the most talented quarterback in the league, because he is. He has a talented quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. The guy can, evade the pocket. He's good at reading the defense as well. He escapes the pocket very well. He's a mobile quarterback, and he can run the ball and he can throw the ball. The only guy I can see that's off of 1 foot that can throw the fucking ball while falling down at the same fucking time. It's just, there's some attributes about him that make him who he is, and there's no denying that at all. Never once did I deny it. If you say Mr. Rose is the best quarterback in the league, I'll say Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, by far. Not even close. But all I'm saying, if you put all that to the side, the NFL has a little bit of a, they see something there. And they're like, man, wow, okay. The guys got to keep winning. We got to do what it takes. It's like you're building him up. It's like a wrestler, and you're building him up with quality wins. Now, beating us isn't really anything to really flex about. But they'll play a good opponent next week. The AFC Championship game will be right there. Then the Super Bowl, whoever they play out of Commanders or Philly, which looks like actually the Rams might actually come out of the NFC. They're the dark horse. I talked about that on Moohead Radio the other day. He had me on a show and we talked about that. And I uploaded that video, by the way, on my channel. It's on my video archives. But I was on Moohead Radio the other day. He's a Browns podcaster. We were talking about that. I said, yeah, the Rams are the dark horse of the NFC right now. And they very well could go into Lincoln Financial Field and win. And they also can go in Ford Field and win. And they can also play the Commanders. That's about an even matchup. Rams, Commanders. It'll probably be boring, to be honest with you. But the storyline would be, LA and the fires and everything. And, the Chargers kind of completely flopped. And now the LA Rams are the only team that can really fight for the city of LA. Is it possible that Stafford could lead the Rams to the Super Bowl to take on Patrick Mahomes and the two-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs? Has a ring to. Because if Eagles play the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl, you would almost have to expect that one of two things are going to happen. One, the Chiefs have to beat the Eagles again, just like they did the Niners, which is a predictable Super Bowl, and it's just squashing the complete franchise of Andy Reid just taking a big shit on Lincoln Financial Field once again. Or they let the Eagles win and say, see, we told you the NFL's not rigged. The Eagles fucking beat the Chiefs. Now you shut the fuck up about it. Either way, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any Eagles. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you're probably pissed hearing that from me, right? But I don't want to see Eagles and fucking Chiefs again. Hell no. We already started to see that already. And then we see the fucking Niners and Chiefs twice, man. I want to see something new. So it would either be Rams or Commanders. And I'm just telling you, if Commanders play the Chiefs, I'm not saying the Commanders can't win, but it'll be a squash match, kind of from a ratings perspective, and it may take a hit on the NFL ratings. Now the Rams, LA market, perfect brand, insert the tragic event with the wildfires. That is a tragic event. And you add that storyline to the, how they're overcoming the rebuild of LA. They're overcoming. And then the Rams are back in the Super Bowl once again. And they're fighting for, the people who lost their homes. And there's going to be that market behind it. They're going to go with that storyline. And they're going to face Patrick Mahomes, the two-time defending champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. And winners out of the last 3 or 4 years. So if you're going to have a storyline, you probably would put those two in. You go with Chiefs, Rams. Makes sense. Will be nice, yes. In fact, the Chiefs and the Rams, the only two teams to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. Houston was ready for KC. They just lost. Like I said, the thing that people don't understand is that they think I'm bitching about what the result was of the game. No, I'm not bitching about the result. I'm just saying that if you're going to come at me with the whole missing field goals, struggles in the game, this and that, I will give you that. Even though the first one, you know why. Why I bitched about the first field goal. Because Reed did jump off sides, and he clearly denied they did that. I acknowledge all those things. I'm saying if I'm going to acknowledge that, I want you to acknowledge the calls, the phantom calls. That's it. That's all I ask. I'm not here to beat you up for it. I'm not here to say, it makes you less of a man by admitting it. You can actually fire back and say, hey, fuck you. Yeah, so what? We got the fan calls. Go fuck yourself. That's all you have to say. And I'll be like, all right, bet. That's cool. So then what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to wait for 5 years, 6 years. Now, I'll still be doing other videos before then. And I will wait for 5 years, 6 years, and I will send a letter to Roger Goodell saying, when this Mahomes shit's over and you're done with doing what you're doing for the market thing, I get it. Figure something out for the 4th largest city in the United States. They consider Houston a small market team, which makes no logical sense. Considering we're the 4th largest city, that don't make no damn sense. You got to figure out something to get a winning culture here. Not only that, but championship caliber culture, not just playoffs, division titles, and just 10-7 records. I want a dynasty here. I want one championship to start, to hopefully replicate into something greater. Because you watch all these other teams do it, and you got to ask yourself, every team that wins a championship, there's always some sort of scandal. There's a scandal. Okay? And you got to figure, whether it's true or not, is irrelevant anymore. Sometimes you may have to be that bad guy to win. And I just say maybe it's time to throw the playbook and the rule book out and start doing the way these other teams are doing to win. And that's by scandals, controversial calls, asterisks, whatever. Just get it done. Because going by the book don't matter no more. There's no such thing as a rule book. Because if the referees, by curiosity killed the cat, actually called the game the way it's supposed to be, then we wouldn't have this conversation. But they won't. So it is clearer than night of day that there's no such thing as rules when rules are made for certain people to break. If you look at the rich and the powerful, the top 1%, they break almost every goddamn rule there is to make. Politicians, the same thing. I mean, I go on and on and on. I go on and on and on. And that's just beyond sports. This is life. I just say, maybe it's time we have to figure that out and figure out our niche and what it's going to take to bend the rules a little bit for us. That's what it's going to be. Right now is not the time. You know why it's not the time? Because Mahomes is the face of the league. And the NFL cannot destroy that. In fact, even me as a Texans fan understands the assignment. Like that stupid rap song. Understand the assignment. I forgot who sings that shit. Hate that damn song. But it's in my head now. So I understand why they did what they did yesterday. It makes sense. And even if we fucked it up on our end, that's fine. Either way, it had to happen. Whether we lost fairly or not, we had to lose. Because the NFL needs ratings. If they lost to the Texans, the ratings would tank so bad. Just imagine you're seeing a Texan depleted roster with a struggling offense, barely limping into an AFC Championship game to face a Buffalo Bills team who's probably a little bit different than they were when we beat them back in Week 5. All right, a lot different. The Ravens, a lot different. They beat us later in the year on Christmas Day. They just completely destroyed us. So you would look at a squash match for the AFC Championship game. And so the NFL would say, okay, well, damn, they got one over the defending champions. Well, they definitely can't get one over this one. That wouldn't make any sense. So we got to, referees, do your job. Do the thing, what we tell you to do. It is what it is. It is what it is. You're just mad you lost. No, I'm not mad. It needed to happen. I understand. You remember, y'all guys ever seen that movie with Jim Carrey? Oh, not Jim Carrey. What is it, Jim Carrey? Remember the cable guy? Remember when he's on the tower? Is Matthew Broderick? He kept harassing the whole movie. Remember that? He's like, you want to be my friend and stuff? Remember the part where he was holding his girlfriend hostage with a stapler, I think it was. And remember when I think it was Matthew Broderick was like, I think Jim Carrey went on like a big rant, and then he said, "This is what I have to do," and he was trying to, jump off the ledge. Well, that's me in virtual reality with the situation that happened yesterday. I understand the purpose. It had to happen. We had to lose. Ratings. Gotta love it. It's just the way it is. That's life. We had to do it. We had to take one for the team, guys. It's going to take time. 5 years. Mahomes will be out of the league, and I will be waiting every second patiently. I will be waiting. When I wait for 5 years, Mahomes will retire in 5, 6 years. He'll be gone. He'll have 6 rings by 2030. When that's done and he leaves, it's a new dynasty after that. New dynasty. So if you're an NFL team right now that's in the lurks waiting, your best bet is to go to Roger Goodell and make that conversation happen. I would say put us down for 2031. I'll even make the storyline for you. 4th largest city. Hey, like that. 4th largest city. How about them apples? Yeah. Let's make them the biggest, largest city. Let's bring a ring here. Let's rig it. Get the referees to help us out. In 5, 6 years, we will see what the next dynasty is. And it'll be us. Because I truly believe that if we were smart, that's what our owners would do. Well, the owner's son would do. To say, you know what, put us in. I already know you got the winners for the next 5 years. The 6th year, right, Houston. And I will be waiting patiently. I haven't gotten any sleep. I have not slept in 28 hours. I've been up, so I haven't had any sleep. As you can see right now, my voice is dragging because I haven't had any sleep, and I have sleep deprivation because of the fact that I work too much. But that's besides the point. The fact that I work nights too also doesn't help with my sleep deprivation. But with that being said, I understand why we lost. I'm not mad. Texans fans are pissed. They're making videos and ranting about it. You're not going to get that out of me. I appreciate the loss. I really do, because I get what you're doing. Referees helped you, and that's okay. I'm happy with it. I'm content because I get why it had to happen. There's no way you can sell a storyline of Houston winning, whether it's fair or not. Even if you got the referees to bail us out, it wouldn't make sense. From a business standpoint, it makes 0 sense. The Chiefs have to win the whole thing. Now they do. Because you got to sell it. You have to sell it, NFL. Remember that. Remember I said this. You have to sell Mahomes being the first quarterback / NFL team, franchise, whatever you want to call it, to win 3 years in a row. Probably maybe never be done again by another team. You have to do it. It's in your destiny, Chiefs. It's the old saying goes, and I quote the LT before he joined the team that cheated, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You have to, man. It's in your destiny. So if you're a Chiefs fan, just say, hey, I'm not wearing it like a badge of honor, but you're just jealous that the refs are helping us. That's all you have to say. You could just completely ignore this whole conversation took place. Everything I'm saying completely irrelevant for the last hour and 19 minutes on this live. Just say, hey, Rose, you're just pissed off because the refs aren't helping you. You can clap right back. You can even have the referees live stream with you and do a response to me. That's fine. Whatever. Because I was a Chiefs fan, I would do that. I'll say you're just fucking jealous that we pulled the stops and you didn't. We thought of something you probably didn't do, or you probably wanted to do and didn't do. Your team should have fucking took the Kool-Aid. We learned from the Patriots. Maybe that's what you need to do. I'm starting to understand that. I'm really starting to understand that. And I think that it makes sense. You never get ahead in life by playing by the rules. I mean, obviously, this world is a cutthroat world. From the business standpoint to sports to competing in life, if you look at the way that people operate, 95% of the time, they probably broke many rules to get there. And the sooner you realize that, the more of an understanding you have for how life really is. You know, so I acknowledge what's going on. My argument is, say, go get you some more rings, and when it's over, hopefully our name will be inserted in there next, and we'll be the next dynasty. And whatever it takes to win, that's what I want to do. I want to win at all costs, whether it's fair or not. Whether it's fair or not. I want to win at all costs. I want to cheat. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to play by the rules no more. I'm tired of it. Playing by the rules gets you nowhere. My message would be to the Texan organization, let's play a little dirty. So let's get even. Let's do it. Why? Why play by the rules? That make no damn sense. The other teams ain't doing it. Why should we? You know, maybe other NFL teams maybe should take notes. Take some notes. Start figuring it out. That's not how you win. Yeah, absolutely. Go look at all the other dynasties. Nothing but cheating allegations all down the line. From the Chiefs to the Patriots, all these teams all have cheating allegations. I want that. I want to be that guy. I want to be that team now. No more rules anymore. The rules don't exist. The referees have already proven that that's not the case. They favor certain teams over another. Don't sit here and tell me the referees aren't dictating games. So we already know that this game's not played fair. Well, the sports is not played fair. Hell, it wasn't played fair since they allowed Vegas and gambling odds to get involved. So with that being said, with all that being said, you know damn well these referees are not playing by the rule book. They're not playing fair. They determine the rules for themselves and for teams they like or whatever. Maybe they're gambling on the side. I don't know. I don't want to say what I don't know, but I will say the referees have already made that determination that this game is not played fairly. There's no such thing as fair. Life is not fair. That's okay. So I'm not angry. Am I mad? Hell no. All I'm saying is, when this Mahomes shit's over, in 5-6 years, Mr. Goodell, put my name in that hat. Put Houston's name in that hat. I want to cheat now. I'm desperate for a championship. So whatever it takes, get it done. Rig, no rig, I don't care. I don't care if the referees throw flags against every team we play in the years coming. I don't care anymore. I don't care. If everybody come at me, that's fine. I'll be the bad guy then. I'll be the villain or whatever. That's fine. I'll be the villain. I'll be the villain for the next years to come. I'll do the same thing the Chiefs and the Patriots and all those other teams did. Niners, Cowboys, Broncos, all of them. All the same shit they do. I'll be the villain for now. And then when the dust settles and stuff, then they'll say, oh, yeah, you got your 2 rings. That's what it takes. No more rules. No more. Because the referees don't play by the rules anymore. They don't read the NFL handbook. They obviously don't know what they're doing. They're incompetent morons, and they determine who wins. So with that being said, so there's no rules anymore. The referees already acknowledged there's no rules. They laugh. They'll sit there and laugh in your face when they're making calls, bad calls, acknowledging that they don't give a shit. That's fine. It's cool. This is all how you want to play. This is what you want to do. That's fine. I want in. Tell me what it's going to take to get me in that. I want in on the scam. It is time. It is time to get even. You know, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way you can win a Super Bowl without some scandal, some accusations. There's no way. So it has to be done. There's no other way. So if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. We just have to wait. Our time is not now. 5, 6 years maybe. It depends on who we have and who we acquire and draft and all that. To wait patiently for our time. When that time comes, I don't care if they say Texans cheated every game and this is what the referees did and Patrick Mahomes is probably telling them what to do. I don't care. That's completely irrelevant to me now. Because I just want to win. I don't care no more. That's what it takes. It just is what it is. No, I'm not mad. I acknowledge it. We lost. We had to lose. It is time we had to lose. I acknowledge it. Okay? I acknowledge it. It's ratings. It doesn't matter what Taylor Swift doesn't play for the Chiefs necessarily from a position wise. It's a storyline. The NFL has to carry a storyline. There's a narrative they're pushing. And that this is the defending 2-time champions. Hey, look, the cutest couples together. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Hey, Taylor Swift sells concert tickets. Brings all of her fans in. There's a whole Swiftie fan base there. It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it's brilliant. I mean, it is brilliant. The Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce is the icing on the cake to the whole, like, was a cherry on top of the promotion of Patrick Mahomes and the GOAT chase and Brady. Andy Reid resurrecting himself. And, you know, the Kansas City becoming a dynasty. I mean, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. You have to rig this game. You have to rig the Chiefs to win. You have to. Even if you don't want to, you have to. It's inevitable. It has to be done. There is no other way. It has to happen. The NFL was smart. If they were smart, they would let the Chiefs win again. If they were smart. You cannot let the Chiefs lose an AFC Championship game. You can't. You have to let them win. There is no other way. And if they get to the Super Bowl, they have to win again. I mean, it almost makes sense that they have to win the next 2 games. They have to. You know? So it just builds to the whole GOAT talk. It builds to the whole Patrick Mahomes legacy. So go ahead and rig it. I don't give a shit. I think it's hilarious at the end of the day. I think it's funny. Because at the end of the day, I can't get mad what I can't control, right? If the referees, you know, one of the commenters said earlier, if you're going to get mad at somebody, get mad at the commissioner. He's the one helping. Okay, fine. Cool. I'm not going to get mad at him. If I would tell Mr. Goodell one thing, rig it for us. One time. Just rig it for us one time. For facts. Rig it for us one freaking time, bro. That's all I ask. Taylor Swift and Caitlin Carter and her dad were there too. Was there a plan behind that? Probably. Probably. It is possible, absolutely. All of a sudden, Caitlin Clark shows up to the game. I mean, it's ratings. It adds to the market. Brings in fans. It's, hey, come tune in and watch Chiefs. You know, and if I was a fan of the Chiefs, I mean, I would enjoy it. I would sit back and be like, yeah, y'all are just jealous. You know, hey, Mr. Rose, you're just jealous because you're not in that seat. Like your team's not a marketable team. You know what I would say? You're right. For now. In 5, 6 years, that could change very soon. 5, 6 years. Once the Mahomes storyline is gone and it's over, then it'll be us. I'll wait patiently. 5, 6 years. I'll wait. The patience is the virtue. So Texans fans, if you're watching this before I go, I have to go. I need sleep. I haven't slept in 28 and a half hours. I will tell you this. Understand the bigger picture. This goes beyond competition. The referees are incompetent. They're morons. They don't know how to ref a game. and they're clearly favoring certain teams. Even if it's just 4 teams in the league, they're clearly do not know how to do their job. And I understand that maybe they're being told that through the higher ups what to do. And so either they're incompetent or they're being told to do it. It's one or the other. So you understand it, acknowledge it, don't get angry, don't get upset, don't get frustrated, don't talk about the referees made bad calls. Because at the end of the day, it was meant to happen. It's ratings. We were meant to lose that game because it made sense to rig it. You'd almost have to rig them. You can't justify Texans being in the Final Four, but you can justify the Chiefs. Absolutely. There's no way Texans were walking out of that game with a win. So the referees did aid and assist the Chiefs. Now, does that mean the Chiefs couldn't beat us without them? No. Does that mean that they're not better than us? No, they are. Does that mean that the Chiefs aren't more talented than us? They are. They are more talented than us. All I'm saying is the referees assisted and helped the Chiefs in that game. Whether it was 1 call or 5 calls or 7, which I can probably count 4. But they assisted the Chiefs, and the Chiefs beat us. And then we struggled too. So you add all that together, the whole package deal, it had to happen. It's the bigger picture. The bigger picture says ratings. You got to get the 2 best teams in the Super Bowl. Rams and Chiefs. 2 best teams. The Rams are the dark horse in the LA Fire storyline, and the Kansas City Chiefs in the dynasty, and the Taylor Swift and Swifties. Period, point blank. Is this? We will be back in 2030, Marvin says. Oh, absolutely. Rachel says, I never really thought about that, Steve, but you broke it down pretty well. Most of the other Texans podcasters did. Just bitching about calls. Now I understand why it happened. There you go, baby. You don't get it? The NFL is rigging these games. There's a reason for it. Ratings. You got to have ratings. There's money circumventing. Money circumventing. They got to have the best 2 teams in the Super Bowl. Rams, Chiefs. I wrote it down right now. Rams and Chiefs. Please to God, tell me it's not Eagles and Chiefs again. Oh my fucking God. I don't know if I'm going to watch damn Super Bowl. But if it's Rams and Chiefs, I'll probably watch that one. Commanders and Chiefs, I probably would. But the Rams and Chiefs, I'll probably watch the Super Bowl. Like, most likely probably watch it. Like, I'll watch it from start to finish. Anything else in between? Nah. I think I'll pass. You remember that fight for every down? Christian Okoye back in the day. Chiefs were mid forever till they got Mahomes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the Chiefs weren't a small market company, a small market team. They were. They were. No one ever remembered the Chiefs, right? What I'm saying is that now the Kansas City Chiefs is like an LA brand. It's a Chicago brand. It's the New York brand, Miami. Like, they're getting that status quo as a big market team now. I mean, if they win this one, you can sell merchandise, you sell shoes, you got Mahomes, and then the Brady talk and the whole, and then the Taylor Swift, when is she going to marry Travis Kelce? Is this relationship going to fall south like all the others? Or is this really going to happen, So there's always sort of like that reality TV intertwining, maybe Hard Knocks next year. I don't know. But what I will say is that next year, not next year, but 5 years from now, when this shit is over, and I will be waiting, then I will let Mr. Goodell know the next team to cheat for is us. Write it down, figure it out. fourth largest city. There you go. We'll start with that. Fourth largest city. I'm writing this down, might I add. Fourth largest city. There you go. And add us to that right there. Figure it out. Come up with a storyline. You know, you want to throw Beyonce in there? Fuck it. Throw Beyonce in there. We'll figure something out. You know what I'm saying? We'll get together and we'll write a package deal. And we'll figure it out soon. In fact, I'll do that later today. I will figure out a storyline for Houston. How to sell Houston as a big market city team and how to sell us to be the next villain. I'm writing this shit down right now. I'm writing this down right now. All right. So it's written down, and I will brainstorm, and I will put this together. I swear to God, I will put this together, and I will come up with a storyline by Wednesday, and I will live stream it on how to help the Texans cheat to win a Super Bowl. And there's a perfect storyline to go with. So that'll give me, what is today? Sunday? 3 days to conspire something. I'll come up with something. I know my brain will have me come. I'll come up with something. So I'm going to put that down. I got 3 days to figure this out. And I will sell you a storyline that's going to put Houston in the Super Bowl talk for 2030, 2031. Right when Mahomes is up out of here. When he's up out of here. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put it together. We're going to get a nice little storyline and rig it. And we are going to need the referees to help us. And I'm going to figure it out. I got a nice little story. I know my brain. I'll give me an energy drink. I'll put something together. And I will figure it out. I will figure it out soon. You guys, you can't wait. I will figure it out. All right? So, that being said, man, I got to get some fucking sleep because I'm tired. I haven't slept in 29 hours. Almost. I'm tired. So, I will see you guys probably Wednesday. And I'll figure this shit out. I swear to God I will.